Hello everyone and welcome. We're at the Marina Bay circuit for the Singapore Grand Prix. It's round 11 of the Nebula rFactor Championship. The championship standings are really close. There's only 9 points separating Craig Baxter and Fred Bodden at the top. Sam Carpenter still in with a chance if he mounts a comeback in these last few races. We're going around for 30 laps to this technical street circuit. We're using the super softs and soft compound tyres for the first time in a long time in this season. I'll now hand you over for Justin for the pole position lap.
Welcome to the Marina Bay in Singapore, where we're on board with Craig Baxter for his pole position lap around this difficult street circuit. Reaching speeds just over 300 kilometers per hour heading into turn 1, and then immediately braking down to first gear. Baxter uses a bit of the apex curb and a bit of the exit curb before dropping down to first gear once again for turn 3. Careful on the throttle now as you accelerate through the left-hand kink of turn 4 and towards the most important corner on the circuit, turn 5. Baxter again uses first gear before the DRS straight, avoiding the exit curb entirely and getting a nice smooth run out of the corner for the fastest part of the circuit. The kink at turn 6 is of course flat out, even with the DRS open, as we reach 311 kilometers per hour before once again dropping down to first gear for the left-hander of turn 7. Baxter briefly shifts into third before again dropping down to first gear for turn 8, again briefly hitting third gear before quickly going back down to first gear for turn 9, an important corner because of the medium length straight after it. Braking around 75 meters for the next corner and again going into first gear for the redesigned turn 10 and just a squirt of the throttle before navigating the right-left combination of turns 11 and 12. Another very important corner now. Turn 13 leads onto a nice long straight, providing one of the few opportunities for a driver to relax for a few seconds before entering the tightest part of the track in Sector 3. Baxter spots his braking point somewhere between the 50 and 100 meter boards on the left-hand side and yet again goes down to first gear for turn 14, staying clear of the exit curb for the best traction out of the corner. Now comes the right, left, right, left combination in this Mickey Mouse section of the circuit. Baxter using mostly first gear to navigate the tight sequence of corners. Underneath the bridge now we go quickly into second gear as we come out of the right-hander and then back down into first gear. He takes lots of curb at the inside of turn 20, avoids the curb at 21, and then it's a short run to the penultimate corner. Craig drops it down to third gear and flicks the car in, crossing the line for a 1:43.200 and pole position here in Singapore.
It's race time here in Singapore at the Marina Bay Street Circuit. It's Baxter on pole in the Ferrari ahead of Tommy Martinez. He's going to be looking to get his first win of the season, but Carpenter in third position is also looking on the pace. We've got Bodden starting on the soft compound tyres, so the first time this season we're going to see a different strategy being elected by one of the front runners. He's going to be going long in the first stint as we've got 4 red lights. That's 5 red lights. The lights are out and we are racing in Singapore. Baxter's got off to a good start, so is Nick Bracchi on the outside. Martinez as well is going to make a move into turn 1. Will he be able to make that move stick? No, not quite. Carpenter holding on to position and it's Knighton all over the back of him, and that's Bodden trying to make a move on Knighton as they make their way into turn 3. Down towards turn 4 though, Carpenter's all over the back. You've got a few cars with their engines smoking, and that's Chadwick making a move up the inside of Andrzej Boratowski, and that's the McLaren of Andrzej Boratowski getting pressured at the back there, and Baxter though leading the way into turn 5, and it looks like Knighton is all over the back of Carpenter.
Yeah, it was a fairly clean start throughout the entire field there. The front 4, I think they've started to bridge a little bit of a gap, but still close on lap 1 here. You can see Baxter in the lead, closely being pressured by Tommy Martinez behind, and Sam Carpenter isn't that far behind, so it's a fairly close pack here. Not too many instances. You see a car going down the inside, the man trying to go down the inside that fast left-hander. It's not really an overtaking spot, but you can possibly get a good launch out there into the hairpin here. But you can see the front pack has started to bridge a little bit of a gap. You see the McLaren go up the inside of Kieran Chadwick there, not quite making the move, but yeah, it's a fairly close pack at the moment.
Yeah, that's Mike Panneman in last place currently. He's chasing down, I think that's Nick Bracchi in the Red Bull. So Baxter, as you said, is sort of increasing the gap. He's got just under a second gap to Martinez and second. Carpenter all over the back of him, going to try and make a move in this first lap. And that's Bodden, went straight on. Bodden's locked up and he's went straight on. He's managed to spin the car around. And he's actually not managed to get it out there straight away. And he's going to rejoin the track in last place. So that's the first time this season we've seen sort of a rookie mistake from basically a championship contender. I mean, we've seen it last race in Spa from Baxter crashing into the pit entrance, which handed Bodden a lifeline in the championship, and it looks like he's thrown it away.
And it's the worst time to actually have a mistake like that, considering how close the pack is, since he's dropped all the way to the back of the field. And he's going to come right through now. He's going to get held up by people, and it's going to completely screw up his entire strategy. He's going to have to overtake back markers here, and it's just going to hold him up. And he might have the pace actually in the race, but considering how far back he is, do you think he's actually going to be able to come back in the race?
Well, he's got the soft compound tyre on, so at least he's got that going for him, as that's Andrzej Boratowski and Shepard battling. It looks like Boratowski's defending to the inside. Can Shepard get a cutback out of this corner? We're going to see here as they come back out. Shepard's all over the rear wing of that car. This track is really difficult to make an overtake, as Shepard's going to look for the undercut here. He gets right onto the back, and the power it's just squirming the rear of the car, just not able to get past in this corner. You're going to see a lot of people being really, really close to one another, and this track is really difficult to make an overtake.
Yeah, but there's a straight coming up now as Shepard almost makes a move into the hairpin. It narrows at that point in the track, but you can see he's right over the rear wing, and he's going to tuck into the slipstream here to try and make a move into the right-hander at the end of this straight. Not quite enough room, but he's gone to the outside, trying to get a better move. He's trying to go around the outside, he gets squeezed out by Andrzej there, and it's absolutely no quarter being given there by Andrzej Boratowski to the Williams, but it was, I'm not sure if that was really clean, but it's hard racing here between the McLaren and the Williams.
Oh, they make contact, and that Shepard lost his front wing. Boratowski, Shepard's been spun round by Bodden. I don't know if Bodden's lost his front wing. That was major contact there between the Ferrari and the Williams driver. That's absolute madness, as we've got three cars battling for the lead. That was a big crash for Shepard. That's certainly not what he wanted for this race.
Yeah, it's a major crash, first major crash this race actually. It's been a fairly clean race actually. As you see, the front four, I believe, are bridging a massive gap to the cars behind. I think they've just got a huge pace difference. And you're going to see in the distance there, yeah, that's how far the pack behind is. As you see, I'm not sure if Baxter's actually holding these guys up, or if this is actual pace, or if he's trying to save tyres, but there's definitely a train starting to form behind him.
Maybe he's trying to back Martinez up into Carpenter so he can get away. I mean, it definitely looks like... Oh, that's Bracky going side by side with the McLaren driver of Boratowski, so he's definitely going to have damage on the rear of his car. Bodden's got to pass him next, and Bodden's going to be scared after he's seen what happened before. It's a bit of a funny incident there. Looked like Shepard ran into the back of Boratowski. It's sort of an unusual one, and the stewards will definitely be looking into that one. Baxter, though, he's starting to bridge a bit of a gap now, so maybe he's just decided to up the pace a bit. Martinez, though, not letting him have any room really to make a mistake. Martinez is all over the back of him, ready to make a move if he does make that mistake. And we've got four drivers here to go for the win. And how do you think this one's going to pan out?
I think it could go into any driver really. I think Baxter at the moment has got an advantage since he's in the lead. He's going to have first choice in pit stop. He knows when to stop. But it could go to any of these drivers, considering how close they are. You see Knighton get the win last time, so he's definitely got the pace. But it just depends on really pit stops and whoever makes mistakes. We've seen the mistake from front runner Fred Bodden, so that could really happen to any driver. We've seen McLaren actually getting wide there. That might allow Bodden to get up the inside here into the last corner. He's going to make the move, and they almost have contact into the last corner, just about avoiding contact. And I think Bodden actually had to back out that move quite a lot.
Yeah, definitely. There's a bit of lag with Bodden's car, so hopefully that's not going to cause any issues. You see him really, really close to the back of the McLaren driver. This is just going to cost him more and more valuable time. He's going to have to really, really push if he wants to stay in this championship fight. I mean, he got really, really close to Baxter after he DNF'd in the last race, and now Bodden is outside of the points. And it's probably the first time he's had a podium every single race so far this season. So do you really think he's going to be able to keep that up after that mistake?
I think he's just going to have to play it safe this race and try and manage the tyres as much as possible to try and get them as far as possible, because he's that far back. I don't think he'll be able to win it on pace alone, but strategy possibly, if he maybe does. I'm not sure.
Do you think he's going to go for a one-stop?
I'm not sure.
They make contact! Sorry for interrupting you there, but Bodden and Boratowski making contact. That's the second time Boratowski, as he almost loses it coming out of the corner. I think he's going to let Bodden pass. No, he's not. he's defending that position and every position with just aggression right now, almost putting Bodden into the wall. That was crazy stuff there.
I think Bortowski has to look to his inside. He didn't give Bodden any room at all on the inside, and it just turned into the corner like he wasn't there. So I'm not sure if it's a spatial awareness problem, but I think it was definitely Bortowski's fault there, as they almost crashed at that very fast left-hander. That's where the Singapore sling used to be, but obviously they removed it a few years ago. But if you have a crash there, you're definitely going to retire from the race.
Yeah, you seen it from Pastor Maldonado in practice. Practice last year, he just went straight into the wall on the outside. Bodden lucky not to end up in the same fight after his mistake early on as well. So he's definitely not running in the best of position. Rice defending pretty well, and he's forced India to go off the track. Really pushing to get past Rice here. He's trying his hardest to defend this 7th position. He's doing pretty well considering we've not seen him up this high, and the only time we did, he made the mistake in Istanbul of jumping the start. So pretty impressive performance so far from Rice.
Yeah, it's a pretty good start from Rice and actually move on to 7th. It's a solid points position at the moment, but he's being hounded by the Force India. You can see as they make a bit of a lock up there. He's being hounded by the Force India all the way through this section. And I don't know if he's got the pace to keep the Force India behind him, but you can see Andrzej Bortowski defending from Fred Bodden once again. Bodden's getting held up so much, and Bortowski goes straight on. He just about misses the wall, and that was so close to hitting the wall there. As you see, I think the other McLaren actually going wide, but he just made the same sort of mistake as Bodden there earlier in the race.
You're seeing a lot of brake smoke kick off from the cars. You've got really high humidity here and really high brake and tyre temperatures as well as engine. So there's going to be a few people on the edge with all of those components in the car. I mean, you've seen various drivers, even the front running drivers, lock up and make a mistake. That's Shepherd there after making his pit stop, so he's already a lap down after 5 laps. It's not the race he wanted, and definitely not the one Williams wanted, considering Mercedes, who are challenging them in the Constructors' Championship, are running 2nd and 4th position right now, with a chance at even a 1-2 if they can create something here.
I just wonder if Baxter's just slowing down his pace just to keep the brake temps under control, because you saw that mistake with Bodden. That might be just due to overheated brakes or something, but see, Martinez is right on the back of him here, and I think Martinez might be able to make a move on this next straight. You see Baxter lock up once again, but he makes the apex. Going into the straight now, you can see slipstream start to kick in just about now, and Martinez is going to try and make a move. Baxter goes to the inside to defend. Martinez is going to try and make a move around the outside. There's just about space. He gets forced onto the curb though, and forced out of track, and Baxter managed to keep the lead, but you see behind, Carpenter's actually managed to capitalise on that. He's going to try and make a move around the outside. There's not quite enough space, but he gets a great cutback onto the straight now, going up to the former Singapore sling. There's not quite enough room on the inside to make a move there, but quite a few dicing for positions here in the Singapore Grand Prix.
This is what Baxter needed. He's put Martinez under pressure from Carpenter. This is the break that he needed. You can see already the gap that he's managed to create, just under a second, and Knighton's also looking to capitalise on this. So Martinez under a lot of pressure after going for a move to take the lead of this Grand Prix. He's going to the inside to defend. He makes a mistake. He's spun the car, but Carpenter makes contact with the front of his car. Knighton just manages to escape, and Carpenter's still got his front wing, so a bit of contact definitely going to be damaged as Knighton almost runs into the back of him as well. It's all kicking off here in Singapore as Carpenter makes the move up into second place. Martinez making a mistake under pressure. That move that he went for, I bet he's regretting it now.
Yeah, it was a fairly hefty hit from Carpenter as well into the side of Mercedes. I believe Carpenter and Martinez will have damage from that. I'm not sure how much damage, but they will definitely have damage from that hit. You saw earlier, I think Bodden actually hit Shepherd, and I think he's got damage in the race, so a few cars have damage here, but at the moment the field is starting to spread out a little bit. You can see the Manor on its own there. Is that Evan Rice there?
Evan Rice still defending that position very hard, very well actually. He's under pressure from Dogar and Bracky, but as I said before, it's really difficult to overtake, and we've seen it there. It really comes down to drivers making a mistake to allow someone to overtake here. It's going to be interesting to see. Like, we're 7 laps into this Grand Prix. Who's going to be the first to make a pit stop?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see strategies that each driver does, but you can see Evan Rice being hounded by the Red Bull behind. It's a sister team rivalry there, but we're not going to see the move. Bracky isn't quite close enough to make the move, but he might be close enough into this next corner. He doesn't go for it. I think Evan actually outbraked himself. He just about avoided the wall there as he go into the left-hander going into the straight here. But I think it's just a matter of time before Bracky actually overtakes Rice at this point in time.
Yeah, I mean, Bracky's already made the move stick on Dogard. I don't know if Dogard made a mistake or not. And talking of mistakes, the Toro Rosso driver runs wide and almost cuts the chicane or the little...
He does cut the chicane.
Yeah,
actually.
he does cut the chicane. I mean, surely he would have to hand that position, or at least it looks like he's actually gained time from that. So the Red Bull guys will definitely be shouting for a penalty, or at least a warning to be handed to that driver.
Yeah, but you see Evan Rice, he's actually locked up through almost every corner in that sector. So he must be struggling with brake temps. But you can see Carpenter heading into the pits. He's the first of the front runners to
That's a really, really early pit stop.
It's only, lap 8. So and that's
19 as well, yeah.
As well. So yeah, it's early pit stops from 2 front runners there. They might be trying the undercut if it's a 2-stop.
I mean, they're going to really, really struggle in the middle stint with the super soft tyres. I mean, the only sensible option for them to go now, pitting this early, is soft and hope that track position, I would say.
Yep, and Carpenter's just about managed to come out in front of Knighton. I believe they both had damage, but not sure if they actually elected to repair that damage or not. But you can see how close they are as they head into the extremely slow left-hander heading out the pits. That is the Force India just about coming side by side out with Knighton. Did they have contact, or is it not? It's not Force India, it's the McLaren actually. They just about avoided contact into that corner though, and yeah, it's extremely early pit stops, so it's an interesting strategy from these two.
Definitely, they're going to have to make this middle stint last as long as possible. I think Carpenter's on the super soft tyres, so wow, that was close. I mean, how close do you want to get before running into the back of someone? That's a McLaren driver. I think that was actually Boratowski there, almost running into the back of Knighton. So we've got another battle going for 4th position on the grid. I think it's theoretically P6 right now. It's Bracky trying to make a move on Sesmir Bernatsky. We've not really seen much of him this race. He's running a really quiet race and he's doing well right now. As Bracky can't find his way past, you've got to think that's Bodden behind, so Bodden's made really good
Bracky's
progress.
Got a good run out of this corner though, and he might be able to make a move into the next corner. He does actually. It goes down the inside of Bernatsky, but Bernatsky holds it around the outside, and they head wheel to wheel through the next corner. I believe Bracky's actually managed to hold on to this position. You can see Fred Bodden right behind, heading under the stadium section, and I think he's going to be able to make a move on Bernatsky. I believe Bernatsky's tyres are just about shot. You can see him locking up to that corner as well. Braun's going to get a good move out of the penultimate corner into the last corner, and I believe he's going to make a move into the last corner. He does actually make the move into I believe, what was that, 5th?
Yeah, well, Kieran Chadwick's still out, as well as the two front runners. So you've got Baxter and Martinez going for a few more laps anyway. But you've got Carpenter here. I just spotted that Bodden, as you can see there, has just made the move on Bracky, but will Bodden hold up and fight these two here? As you see, that's Dogar actually holding Knighton up. So we've got so many battles going on in track right now. As Carpenter goes to the inside to make the move on Bracky, makes it look easy, and Knighton, it passes Dogar as well. So those two drivers having to carve their way through the field. Is that why the Ferrari of Baxter and Martinez has stayed out, so they can build the gap to this traffic here?
Yeah, I think Carpenter and Knighton have actually lost a bit of time here fighting through the traffic. You can see Carpenter right on the back of Bodden, touching his rear wing there. And I think it's only a matter of time before Carpenter makes the move here on new tyres. But Bodden is no easy opponent to go. And Carpenter goes up the inside of the hairpin. They just about avoid contact. Carpenter having to go all over the curb just to avoid hitting Bodden there. But he's going to get a good run on Bodden into the right-hander. And he's gone to the outside. He's going to go around the outside, but they have contact. And I'm not sure what happened there. I believe Bodden actually locked up and hit into Carpenter, but I'm not quite sure. We might see a replay later.
Yeah, it's Carpenter. He's really, really struggling to get past Bodden. Bodden's not really fighting for position, but he's definitely helping his teammate here. As Carpenter almost touches the inside wall, that's allowed Knighton all over the back of Carpenter. So as Knighton touches the wall, not sure if that was lag though, definitely a shunt there. Carpenter all over the back of Bodden as they go on to start lap 10. The front runners are still out. at least Chadwick is, Carpenter gets a really good run out of the final corner. Is he going to make a move down the inside into turn 1? Yes, he is. He's definitely made that move stick, and Knighton now is stuck behind Bodden, and that's the two drivers that were running 1-2 actually came out behind, so they've definitely gained a lot of time, but they've got so much fresher tyres. Surely it's only a matter of time before they catch up, and we're going to see a battle as Bodden makes contact with Knighton now. It's definitely heating up here. This is going to be an interesting showdown in middle part of this race.
I'm actually surprised that Knighton and Carpenter actually came out in front of the two front runners there. So it's interesting. I thought they lost time, but in fact they actually gained time. Because I think the two front runners, Baxter and Martinez, actually, their tyres were getting shot in the middle of the race. But it's going to be interesting because they pitted a few laps later. So do you think they're going to be fine on their tyres?
Well, you would think so. I mean, Baxter's put on super soft tyres, so Baxter is on the super soft compound as well as Carpenter. Knighton's on the softs. Martinez is on the super softs as well. So you've got different strategies going on. Bodden, you would think, has got to pit this lap. He's losing so much time battling with these guys, and he's already lost a lot of time from going straight on at this corner here. You'll see Baxter now on his teammate. Is he going to make it easier for him? He's fighting him in the championship. Are we going to see the Ferraris battle once again? Bodden squirming as he puts his power down, coming out, locking up the brakes, definitely struggling here on these tyres. Baxter's all over the back of him now, coming into the final two corners as the leader goes on to lap 11. That's Carpenter. Bodden looks to actually just let him pass, make it easy for him, and is he going to let Knighton pass? Knighton dives to the inside, makes the move stick, so Bodden losing a hell of a lot of time on that straight, and losing a lot of time as Bodden makes a dive up the inside to try and fend off Carpenter. Not enough though. He's on those soft compound tyres. He's definitely going to be pitting soon. I mean, he's went 11 laps. He's had a lot of lockups and even a spin.
I think it was the right decision actually for Bodden to let his teammate pass, but in doing that he actually let Martinez actually, or is that?
Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry, that was Martinez, not Knighton, yeah.
I think in doing that he actually let Martinez pass into turn 1, but he's actually gone into the wall. I think Martinez is out of the race.
Martinez has lost his entire front section of the car. He's absolutely huge shun. The engine's got to have shut off there. That was a massive crash.
He's not moving. He's out of the race. Martinez is out of the race.
Martinez, who was still looking for his first victory of the season, is definitely not going to get at that race. That's going to help Williams in the constructor standings a lot. Martinez just seemed to lose it coming out the corner. He definitely didn't have any contact with any cars. There wasn't any debris on the track.
I think it was just under throttle, and he just got a bit of oversteer under throttle, lost the rear, and went into the wall. It's just one of those mistakes that sometimes you just have. But Chadwick here, he's out on his own in the lead of the race. He's actually heading into the pits now for his pit stop, and will he still be going for a 2-stop, do you think? As he head into lap 12?
I would think so. I mean, he's just went 11 laps on the super soft, so maybe Carpenter will be able to make them last out front. Chadwick has, but look at the amount of time he's lost. He was only 4 seconds behind the front pack when he pitted, and now they're already passed and round at turn 4. So,
and he's not even headed out of the pits yet. So yeah, he's definitely lost a lot of time. He might have been trying to do something different like he did in Germany, but as you saw in Germany, his tyre did blow up, trying to take his tyres that long, so I don't really think he wants to risk that, especially in a race where he's running quite well. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this strategy works out for Chadwick, going later on the tyres. He's pitted onto super softs. As you see, Bodden has actually pitted, and do you know what tyres he's pitted on?
He's on to super softs as well. He's going to go super soft. You would like to think so. I mean, he's used the soft compound tyres to start with.
Yes, that makes sense, actually, going super soft. So he'll be on the quicker tyres for 2 stops in this race, so it should help him. He's out in 8th just now, behind, I believe, Nick Bracke. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what strategies people do and how they play out. But you can see Baxter right on the back of Callum Knighton here as they go into the right-hander, and Baxter's trying to make a move around the outside. He just makes it work. He's got the inside for this next corner, but Knighton isn't giving up. He tries to make a move into the corner, but doesn't really work, and I think that's an easy move for Baxter. I think there's a bit of debris in the track actually there.
I think that was a front wing from, I'm not sure what car, or maybe that was from the collision early on with Shepard and Boratowski.
It might have been, but there's a bit of debris in the track there, and it disappeared as Baxter and Knighton went past it. But Baxter is starting to bridge a little bit of a gap to Knighton here, and I'm not sure.
Remember he's on the super soft tyres and Knighton's on the softs going for
okay. So that probably is why there's a bit of a pace advantage by Baxter. But there was a driver heading out the pits there. I believe it was the McLaren going on board with Sam Carpenter. He's inherited the lead from Kieran Chadwick now, going along the straight, and his race is looking fairly comfortable at the moment.
Yeah, he's not won a race for a few rounds, and as I said before in the pre-race, he's got to do something. I mean, he's really, really far back in the championship in terms of the driver standings. He's mathematically still in it, and after Bodden making the mistake, he's definitely going to be pushing to get at least P2. I mean, obviously, as a racing driver, you're not gonna say I'm not giving up fighting for the championship when it's still mathematically possible. But it's definitely going to be a hard one for him, and he's doing absolutely everything he needs to do to gain on those two Ferrari drivers in first and second.
Yeah, he had a good chance of actually winning the race in Spa last time out, but didn't actually do it because he had a few rookie mistakes spinning the car, and that cost him massively. I think he actually had the pace advantage over Knighton and Bodden, but in the end just didn't come close to winning the race because of those mistakes. You've seen mistakes by front runners in this race already, so there's no denying that he could win the race or he could lose the race at this point in time. It just depends on if he makes a mistake or not, and depends on strategy, because he's made a few strategy mistakes in the past as well.
Yeah, definitely. You've seen, he keeps locking up. I don't know if he's struggling with the tyres already. I mean, he took the first set. He took the first set 7 laps, and he's now took this set 7 laps, and he's locking up. And Baxter gained 1 second on the last lap on 1.2 over Knighton, albeit Knighton's on the soft compound tyre, which is expected, but on the same compound tyre he gained a second on Carpenter, so he's really, really struggling. I don't know if he made it. We were on board and he didn't seem to make any big mistake apart from just locking up.
I wonder if Carpenter's tyres are just overheating, if he's turning his wheel too much or something like that.
Again.
Yeah, he's locking up a lot. Is he maybe pushing too much?
I don't know. I actually have no idea why he's locking up so much. It seems to be maybe he's got a problem with the brakes. Maybe they're overheating, or maybe it's the tyres, as you said. But we're going to definitely have a showdown here. It's going to be pretty good before the pit stop. So do you think Carpenter's going to come in and put on? Well, he's on the super soft, so he's going to have to put on the softs for the last stint. But how is he going to make them last to the end if he comes in now?
Exactly, 16 laps to the end of the race. He won't make them last, so he's going to have to stick with this current set of tyres, hopefully fend off Baxter, who's closing him in. And I don't think Knighton's that much. Well, actually, he's on the soft tyre, so that should play into Knighton's hands a bit, considering he'll be on the super soft tyre for the last stint, and these two drivers will have to go into the soft tyres. So, yeah, as I said, it's going to be interesting end to this race here. 16 laps left, so we're halfway through the race now, and Carpenter's definitely getting reeled in by Baxter.
Do you think Knighton's going to be able to take these softs longer than what Baxter's going to be able to take these super softs? Because he pitted 3 laps earlier, and Knighton's going to have to come in maybe a couple of laps later than Carpenter, but will that be enough laps to jump on the super softs and gain the time? I think he might have to put on the soft compound tyre.
Yeah, it might be, because Carpenter is definitely he's struggling, and I don't know what the gap is at the moment. I think it's about 3 seconds, 2-3 seconds. So yeah, Baxter. It's only a matter of time before Baxter actually closes up to the back of the Williams and tries to make a move. But you can just see from the onboard of Baxter how much Carpenter's actually locking up. It seems to be every corner that Carpenter's locking up, so I believe Carpenter has a problem in this race at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. Baxter's taking the quickest lap of the race, last lap around, so the degradation's definitely not making any difference, and you can see the gap visibly coming down, corner after corner. That's a big plume of smoke coming from the brakes of that Williams car. Baxter closing up 0.5 of a second over the first sector, so Carpenter making a mistake in the first sector, and once again he's went straight on. So just look at how much time he's losing from. He's got to pit soon, surely.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time. Baxter's just closing up far too much for Carpenter to do anything. And if Carpenter tries to push even more, he's just going to lock up even more. So it's a bit of a never-ending problem for the Williams there. And he locks up again, and he's right on the back. As we end this lap,
Is he going to come in this lap?
No, he's not.
Interesting decision.
He's continued on. Yep, Carpenter's continued to go without pitting, and see under braking there, I think Baxter's just so much more confident under brakes. He's not locking up, and he's closing in the braking zone, so it might even be the straight that he tries to make a move.
He's absolutely flying in comparison to the Williams driver, who's mega struggling here. It's we've not really seen Carpenter properly under pressure like this before, and it's definitely gonna make a move into this next corner. As Baxter all over the back of Carpenter now. Can he make the move stick? Not quite. As now Carpenter's definitely going to be in the defence into this next section. He's really struggling here, and it's just a matter of time before Baxter makes this move stick.
Yeah, I think Baxter's just trying different lines, trying the cutback, etc. to try and get past Carpenter, but it's only a matter of time before Carpenter, I think, makes a mistake and hands the lead of the race to Baxter once again. He locks up, he goes wide, and Baxter's got a great run into his corner. He tries to go on the outside, he's going to get a great cutback, try and make a move into this hairpin, to head into the hairpin before the straight. Baxter's not quite close enough, but Carpenter locks up once again, and it's noticeable how much cleaner Baxter's driving compared to Carpenter at this moment in time. You see Baxter going to the outside. Baxter's actually gone straight on, and he almost goes into the wall. I think both actually locked up at the same time there, but Baxter's inherited the lead of this race after that mistake by actually both of them made the mistake at the same time. So Baxter he's inherited the lead of the Singapore Grand Prix.
A bit of an interesting overtake there. That's the first time we've seen two drivers lock up and go straight on and actually change positions. So surely Carpenter's got to pit now and put on the soft compound tyres. Is he? Yeah, definitely going to have to make that decision. He's going to have to save those tyres at the end a bit though, and Knighton is actually staying out for an extra lap. I wonder if he's going to come in next lap or try and pit at the same time as Baxter maybe. We're going to get a replay of Chadwick, who running in P4, to see what he did here, coming under the bridge, and he's just locked up and went straight on into the wall. So his engine's still running.
Yeah, his engine's running, so he's not retired just yet, but I think he's pulling off, so
he must have suspension damage.
Yeah, I think he's retiring from the race. He's stopped on track, so that's Kieran Chadwick retiring from this race. But we're going to see a replay here of the overtake that Baxter actually made on Carpenter, actually, the two mistakes here. They're heading down into the right-hander as Baxter goes to the outside. He locks up, and you saw out of shot there. Carpenter also locking up, but Carpenter just got a really bad run out of that corner. He's like he wasn't on the throttle at all, and that allowed Baxter just go past, so it was a relatively easy move for him.
Yeah, it's definitely an easy move, and you'll see just his pace on the screens. He's over a second a lap faster than Knighton again on the last lap, so surely Knighton's going to have to come in if he wants to get a chance at winning this race. Obviously he's going to be on the super softs and he's going to be much faster, or actually maybe he's not even going to be on the super softs, as we said earlier. He might put on the soft compound tyre, but Baxter still has to use the soft, so he's definitely going to be on those, as well as Carpenter, who's on the soft compound tyres now. He's actually lapping faster than Baxter, so I wonder if he's going to come out in front of Baxter as Knighton pulls into the pits.
Yep, and it's Knighton in the pits. It's just interesting to see which tyres people are putting on and which are. That's
the soft compound tyres for Knighton.
So soft compound, so that might be the better race compound for Knighton. I believe that's Carpenter heading round the last corner here. It's going to be close into turn one actually, and Carpenter's moved ahead of Knighton into second. It's
a huge gap he's made. So, but visually, I would think that's less than the gap from Baxter to Knighton, so I think it's going to be close when they come out the pits. It's definitely going to be a close one. And I would think, though, Baxter's going to have to respond and come in this lap.
Yeah, definitely. He's going to have to respond to the Williams and Mercedes. Otherwise, he's just going to lose out the lead of this race. And I don't think... I think track position is sort of key on this track as a street circuit. As you see, it gets a bit of wheel spin heading out the hairpin. As I said, yeah, track position's pretty key on the circuit. It's not that easy to overtake unless you've got a great run on the car in front or better tyres. But it's going to be interesting to see where Baxter heads out if he does actually respond on this lap.
Yeah, you would think the Ferrari team are going to go with that decision. Carpenter quicker than Baxter in the first two sectors, so definitely going to have to pit this lap. Knighton as well, he's actually lapping faster than Carpenter right now, so the four-way battle we had at the start of the race might end up shaping into a three-way battle at the end, so it's not too bad. I think we're definitely going to be in for a show.
Yep, as Baxter heads into the pits now for the second and final pit stop of his race. You're looking at the last corner now just to see where Carpenter and Knighton are. They've not come around it yet. It should be any second now. And the gap's actually bigger than I thought.
Here comes Carpenter around it. Yep. Carpenter coming around now. Will he be able to get out ahead of Baxter? We're going to see it's going to be pretty close. As you see, Baxter's just managed to exit the pits just in front of Carpenter, so perfect timing there. But will Carpenter be able to make a move down into turn 4? I don't quite think he will be close enough, but he'll definitely be close enough as they come onto this long straight. Carpenter's going to be in the slipstream. He's going to be running right behind as Knighton in the back's fighting with that Mercedes car. Is Carpenter going to go around the outside? Yes, he is. Baxter placing his car in the middle of the track. Carpenter's going to try and hang it around the outside, and the same thing happens again to what happened to Martinez. Baxter just forcing him out onto that car, but not allowing Carpenter to get past in that corner, and he's definitely not giving up the lead of this race easily.
Yeah, it's hard but fair racing there. I think it's legal to sort of force a driver out like that. I don't think Carpenter will like it, but it is racing. But he'll try and make a move as quickly as possible. I don't think Baxter's tyres are really up to full temperature just yet. So it's going to be important for Carpenter to make this move as soon as possible. Otherwise, he's just going to lose up. But you can see Baxter actually starting to bridge a little bit of a gap there. And Knighton's not too far behind. So the race win could go to any of these drivers at the moment.
Yeah, is Knighton sitting back there and conserving his tyres possibly? I mean, he's closing in on Carpenter, but I think he might be just waiting for these two to have a battle and possibly capitalise on it.
Yep, and if these two have a battle, they'll obviously obviously hold each other up. But you see Carpenter there getting a bit of a wiggle out of that second last corner, and he's lost even more time to Baxter. So I think Baxter is comfortable in the race lead at the moment. He's on slightly newer tyres, and I think he does have the overall pace advantage over Carpenter at the moment, but it's just whether he'll make the mistake and relinquish the lead of the race or not.
Yeah, Carpenter's still searching for this first win, and first win since Monaco, I think. So he's definitely going to want to win again before the end of the season. And Knighton as well, he won in Spa, so he won last time out, and he's obviously going to want to make it 2 in a row, and he's obviously going to want to make sure the Mercedes team scores as many points as possible since they're fighting Williams in the constructors. It's really, really close between those two teams, but Martinez is DNF'd, Shepard's made a mistake, so I mean Williams look to be on course to score more points than them as long as Shepard finishes the race and Carpenter holds position, that is.
I believe Shepard is in P8 at the moment, so he will pick up, I believe, was that 4 points? Yeah, 4 points plus 18, so that's 22 points. So it's not bad. It's a bit of a recovery drive from Shepard, but considering that Martinez actually retired in this race, I think it's actually extremely lucky for the Williams team that he did. So yeah, it's these things just come and go. So.
It's definitely going to come down to the last race of the season, though.
Yep, definitely. As you see, Knighton getting a bit of a wiggle out the corner there, heading under the stadium section. And I don't know if he's actually closing up to Carpenter. It looks like he is.
I think Carpenter's actually closing on Baxter out front. As We now see Bracky, who's in P5, defending from Bodden. So Bodden's curved his way up to P6, and he's going to have to make this overtake move stick on Bracky. I think Bracky's on the soft compound tires as he locks up and runs deep. Bodden on the super soft, and he's definitely lapping quickly right now. Is he going to make a move on Bracky here? No, not quite. Is he going to go for a move under the bridge, even though he's seen a crash happen there before? And yes, he has. He's going to make that move stick. Bracky doesn't defend it, so more than likely knows that he's definitely going to lose time if he tries to battle with Bodden, who's just ultimately faster around here than him.
Yeah, and I don't think Bracky really wants any contact with Bodden. I think he's happy having 6th position. That's a pretty good finishing place for Bracky there. But looking at the front 3 here, it's still fairly close. I think the gaps stayed the same between Baxter and Carpenter, and I think Knighton's maybe closed in a little bit to Carpenter, but these 3, it's 9 laps left, and I think anything could happen in these final laps.
All it's going to take is one mistake from Baxter out front for Carpenter to get right on the back of him. And the same if Carpenter makes a mistake as that. I think Baxter does run a bit wide there, but Carpenter hits the wall. I don't know if he lost an end plate there, but it certainly looks like he was going to have damage. That was quite a big thud into that wall.
Yeah, I think he might have slight suspension damage, but it was a big hit. But I don't think he lost too much time to it. I think he's closed up a little bit on this lap to Baxter. I think Baxter's pace is dropping a little bit, but he might just be trying to save his tyres for possibly a fight at the end.
Do you think he's maybe doing what he was doing at the start of the race, backing, this time backing Carpenter up into Knighton instead of Martinez into Carpenter?
He could definitely be. So as I head around the first corner, and I don't think Carpenter's quite close enough to get slipstream just yet, but it's very interesting to see the gaps from lap to lap. It's just about staying the same, but it's just a tenth or 2 tenths in it between each lap. I think Carpenter's actually dropped back maybe a little bit on the start of this lap, but can't quite see.
Yeah, it looks like Baxter's put the foot down once again, got a bit of extra pace in hand. He's pulled 2 tenths in the first sector, but we've seen throughout the race Carpenter's been a bit better in the middle sector over Baxter, and Baxter's been stronger in the first and last sector. So yeah, it does look like it is visually increasing. I hope we get a good final showdown to this race, and hopefully a battle for the lead. We'd like to see that once again.
Yep, and you can see into the hairpin. I think Carpenter maybe close up a little bit, but from this angle it's fairly deceptive. But Bortowski is heading to the pits. He's actually heading out the pits now, and is he on the super softs?
He's lost the possession to Bodden.
He's lost position to, I believe, was that 4th position?
He was running in 4th. Yeah, I think he's trying a one-stop strategy, but obviously has had to pit again. So he's on the super soft tyres, and he's going to be quick at the end of the race. So we'll see if he's able to catch Bracky.
Do you know the gap between Bracky and Bortowski? It looks fairly big from on board.
I think Bracky's still to pit the final time as well, possibly.
Okay.
I'm not sure. It's a bit. They're running funny strategies. Some of the guys in the middle of the field, the guys at the front are sticking to pretty simple alternate strategies. But Bodden here, you can see he's running in P4 after that spin. I mean, he's got to be happy with P4, and he's definitely not close enough to get P3 unless someone makes a mistake like we've seen with Martinez or even Bodden.
Yeah, it's a fairly good recovery drive from Bodden. He's had a bit of contact with other cars throughout the race, and I think especially with Shepherd at the start, he went straight into the Williams and probably gave him major suspension damage, but it's been a really good recovery drive from the Ferrari. He's had to overtake quite a few people, and I think he's been pretty good on his tyres as well, so that's obviously helped him in this race as well. But you can see Carpenter is closed up a lot to Baxter in this lap, and he's right behind him. Not sure if Baxter's actually made a mistake. You see Carpenter almost losing the car as they head into the hairpin. And yeah, I think Baxter's either made a mistake or Carpenter's just nailed a lap. It could be one of those, but see on the exit of the hairpin there, Baxter got a much better exit, and it's definitely looking to be a showdown between these two drivers in the last 7 laps.
It's like I said before, as Baxter goes straight on once again, Carpenter seems to really close up in that middle sector. He got right on the back, but I don't know if it's the new tyres or just the way Baxter takes that corner. He's able to launch out of the traction zones. You'll see, you'll get to see some of these next few corners. He's just able to pick up the throttle just a bit earlier than Carpenter and just pull away out of the corners, which is making it so hard for Carpenter to get close and make an overtaking move.
As they head through the last corner onto, I believe, lap 24, and Carpenter's closed up this lap. You can see Knighton's not that far behind, so Knighton's still here, and he's just staying there, just watching this continuing battle between the Williams and the Ferrari, and he could be just there to pounce at any moment. If these two drivers make a mistake, he could be there to just take the race win if it happens. But I believe that's traffic up ahead. It's Max Shepard up ahead, and he'll be looking to not hold up the Ferrari. I don't think he wants to really get involved in this battle and face the wrath of Baxter after the race. Yeah,
definitely not, as he's making a mistake and went straight on, but should get out of the way easily. Oh, Carpenter! Oh, he's almost in the wall! His teammate almost putting him in a difficult situation there. Carpenter seemed to get a bit surprised by the presence of Shepard, almost losing the car on the power and into the wall, but that's going to allow Knighton right onto the back, and the three drivers are separated by just over a second now, so something like that we needed to spice up this show.
Yeah, definitely closed the front three up, but I don't think Carpenter really expected his teammate to be there, but I believe Shepard was getting out of the way, so I'm not sure. It was a bit of a funny instant, but it wouldn't have been great for Williams if Carpenter had gone into the back of his teammate. But it's definitely, I'm not sure, it definitely, I think it hurt Baxter's race just as much as Carpenter's race, but Knighton's managed to close up. He didn't really get caught up in that instant there, and he's right on the back of Carpenter now.
Yeah, definitely looking to hunt him down. I think he's been saving his tyres the last few laps, ready to pounce. I mean, Carpenter, remember, he came in first out of them all, so he's going to have like the worst tyres out there, and we've known throughout the season Carpenter to be a bit harder on his tyres than most drivers out front. Obviously, sometimes it helps him. In some tracks like Monaco, it really helps because tyre deg isn't that bad, and he's able to put a lot of temperature into the tyres when needed, but Knighton is definitely on it now to try and get this P2.
Yeah, we're on board with Knighton here. He's just sticking behind Carpenter. He closes a lot under the braking zone, actually. He's much better on the brakes than Carpenter in that corner. And it's really close. I've seen these top three. I wasn't really expecting a battle like this. You see Carpenter slightly went wide in that corner. He just locked up his brakes, and that's given the advantage to Baxter now as they head into the former Singapore Sling and into the chicane before the hairpin. You can see, I think Carpenter's struggling a little just to try and keep the car on the road and to keep... he
almost hit him.
Almost gotten into the back of the Williams there, and yeah, Carpenter's definitely struggling.
Yeah, that's an understatement. He's got 5 laps to go, though. Knighton almost runs into the back of him once again. Carpenter really struggling now, and you see Baxter just pulling away. Knighton's gonna have to get back. Gonna have to get past him anyway if he wants to get a shot at winning this race now.
I think Knighton's just telling Carpenter that, I'm here, and if you make a mistake, I will pass you, with those slight love taps from the car behind. But yeah, it's an interesting race at this point in time. You see Baxter's starting to pull ahead, Carpenter's starting to struggle, and Knighton's just hanging in there, but he's not had the outright pace to overtake Carpenter there. As you see Shepard heading into the last corner now, he's moved up into 8th, so it's a bit of a recovery drive. He's been helped by a few retirements in this race by the retirement of Chadwick and Martinez, so that's promoted him 2 positions. But considering how far behind he was on, I believe, lap 2, I believe he was lapped on lap 2, so that's how much time he lost. So it's been an alright recovery drive, I think.
I think he's actually been lapped twice now. The attrition rate here, though, has been really high. Rice as well is retired out of the race.
There's another back marker.
Yeah, there is. Oh, Knighton taps the wall on the outside there.
It's Vlad Dogar at the exact same point that Shepard was lapped, so it's proving a popular lapping point there. As you see Knighton, he's not gained too much in this lap, but Baxter's still clawing ahead in the lead of this race. It's fairly stagnant at the moment, but I believe any mistake from one of these drivers will close it up even more. It's a matter of time before that happens, I think.
Carpenter beginning to struggle with the locking brakes again. Baxter looks to be extending the gap more and more. Knighton takes so much more speed into that corner than Carpenter. I don't know if that's just driving style or he just seems to carry a lot more entry speed than Carpenter.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm not sure if Knighton's just holding back at the moment, but he seems to... You saw in Spa, he held back at certain points, and then at key points in the race, he pushed and he overtook Fred, and that's what gave him the race win. But he's definitely... I think Knighton must be saving his tyres, because he looks quicker than Carpenter at the moment. He just hasn't made the move.
Yeah, being quicker is one thing, though. I mean, trying to overtake around this track, especially... someone like Carpenter is not going to give up P2 definitely without a fight. It's going to be tough. It's definitely going to be tough. Bodden's still running by himself in P4. I think we've got a battle brewing up for P5 though. Brachy and Boratovsky, those two they're starting to close up on track, so it's definitely going to be close between them as well. I don't know if we're going to get to see much of it because of this battle out in front. Baxter once again faster in the first sector than Carpenter. He still seems to be pulling away from the Williams driver. Knighton as well quicker than Carpenter, so as we said before, Carpenter's tyres, he's definitely struggling with those.
Yeah, definitely. You can see Bodden there in P4. I don't think you can see the two drivers of Boratovsky and Baraki behind, but he's running a fairly lonely race at the moment. I think he'd really want to be up in that battle for the top three. But yeah, mistakes by him and other instances have cost him that race, especially the first lap mistake where he went straight on at the stadium section. You've seen a lot of drivers with brake problems this race, and it was similar to, although we haven't seen any brake failures this race, a lot of drivers have been having trouble with lockups.
Yeah, definitely. As I said before, I don't know if it's the high temperatures, the brakes overheating, or the fact that there's so many braking zones. I mean, the track is really, really tough on brakes, so that's probably why. And also the degradation of the tyres is really high, so it's a combination of both, I would say. Both drivers are really, really struggling, Carpenter and Bodden, but yeah, you see Knighton definitely closing up again, and Baxter just pulling away, so I don't quite think we're going to get a battle for the lead here. I think maybe next lap or the lap after, Knighton's going to be right on the back of Carpenter, able to make a move into this corner as he pushing it as hard as possible to try and catch him here. I don't think he's close enough to make a move on this lap around, but as long as he sticks with them, he could make a move in the middle sector.
Yeah, and if he closes up here and forces Carpenter into mistake, the move could be on, but drivers here, they're not losing too much time in actually in locking up, especially if they actually hit the apex, but it's when they miss the apex and go wide, it completely screws up the line for the next corner. And it's a few sections of this track, especially this one here, are dependent on momentum and getting a good line to the corners and not going wide, etc. So it's yeah, locking up isn't too big a problem unless you miss the apex. But you can see Carpenter, he's starting to get pulled in by Knighton. We've seen this lap on lap for the past, I believe, 6 or 7 laps. You can see Knighton just closing in, and then the gaps just stayed the same. And I'm not sure, Dirty Air isn't that it's not that effective. You see Knighton closing right up there, and he's so much better in the brakes than Carpenter there. I think it's going to be very soon if he does make the overtake on Carpenter.
It's gonna have to be soon. I mean, there's only 2 laps left, and Knighton's gonna have to make this move for the constructors championship. Especially, they're gonna have to get a strong result here, and in Brazil, they're gonna have to outscore Williams if they really, really want to catch them. And then it'll probably be a showdown in the final race to see if Mercedes can outscore them again. So he's gonna definitely have to make this move if he wants to help his team after Martinez DNFing, but I don't quite think he's close enough here into turn 4. No, not quite. As he gets on the power, he might be close enough to make a move.
He's going to get slipstream just about. The thing is, slipstream isn't kicking until now, and by then it's too late to really make a move. You can see he's so much better in the brakes. He almost hits the rear wing of Carpenter there, but just about avoids him. But He's so much better on the brakes than Carpenter, and he might be able to make a move down the inside there. Carpenter opens the door, but just about closed it in time, and you can see Carpenter is struggling, and I don't know if it's tires or something, but I don't think he'll be able to hold on onto the second place in this race.
Well, he's got one lap to go, and as long as he defends well, I think it's possible for him to hold on to it. I mean, as long as he gets good exits out of these corners, and it's better than Knighton like that there. You see, if he takes a wider entrance and gets a better exit, it's definitely possible for him to hold this position. But he locks up once again, missing the apex as you were talking about, and Knighton definitely ready to pounce. Baxter's just drove off into the distance at this rate. I think the race is all but over for first place as Knighton taps the wall on the outside, pushing to the limits here. As he's definitely going to size him up for a move on this last lap.
Yeah, and he had a much better line through that corner. You see Baxter coming around the final corner to start the final lap of this race, lap 30 out of 30 in the Singapore Grand Prix. He's led the race probably most laps this race actually, but it's an interesting battle behind for second place. You see Knight almost hitting the back of Carpenter, and he goes straight on. I'm not sure he's kept about the same gap, so he might have gained a little bit through cutting that corner there, but he almost hit the back of Carpenter. We've seen it so many times this race, people locking up, almost going into the back of each other, but he's definitely close enough to make a move on the last lap of this race. He's tucked into the slipstream behind the rear wing of Carpenter now as Carpenter goes to the inside to defend. Knighton's going to go to the outside, and he's going to try and make a move around the outside. He's made it stick as they head side by side into the corner. They tap the wheels, and Knighton squeezed out Carpenter, but Carpenter's still on the inside. He's going to try and make the move down the inside. They're wheel to wheel the past 4 corners, and I think Knighton's made the move stick, but is Carpenter close enough to keep the move, to make a move? He's not, but he gets a much better line through that corner into the hairpin, and he skips the corner, and I think that's Knighton kept the place.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like Knighton's managed to stay ahead of Carpenter. He's getting on the power. He's going to be angry with himself. He decided to skip that chicane rather than take it. It's an odd decision as both of them lock up into this corner, and I think that's a Red Bull of Brachy who was battling with Andrzej Boratowski. He went straight on and he stopped at that part of the track, so I think that's him out of the race. He's still going to be classified. So at least there's that going for him. But Baxter, who's drove a stellar race, he's been above anyone else this season, really, and definitely this race. He comes across the line to win in Singapore to extend his lead in the championship over Fred Bodden, who's had a bad race. Knighton to make a move on the last lap of the race over Carpenter to take second position. Carpenter's not going to be happy with third considering the circumstances, and Fred Bodden in fourth place. On to the race classification for the Singapore Grand Prix. Baxter takes victory ahead of Knighton in the Mercedes. Carpenter in third place for the second race in a row. Bodden, after starting on softs and trying a different strategy, not really working out for him after he makes a mistake, going under the tunnel ends him in fourth place, really falling away from Baxter in the championship standings, so that's not good to see. Andrzej Boratowski good enough for 5th place, Dogar in 6th, Nick Brachy in 7th, and the last classified driver Max Shepherd finishing in 8th. On to the driver standings then. It's Baxter extending his lead at the top, as I said earlier on Bodden. Carpenter's actually catching Bodden now after a decent run of form. Knighton over 120 points now, is ahead of Chadwick by quite a long way after Chadwick and Tom Martinez DNFing this race. Shepherd running lonely in 7th place. Gomez, though, he's going to have to mount a challenge if he wants to catch Shepherd for 7th in the standings. Sesmir Bernatsky and DeWall Nell wrap out the top 10. We've got Andrzej Boratowski, Scott Davison and Vlad Dogar trying to sneak in. On to the constructor standings then. It's Ferrari who have already won the championship, miles ahead of anyone else. Williams and Mercedes, the battle is heating up, really close between them, separated by 20 points now going into the final few races. Force India in a lonely 4th place, decent result for them considering the drivers they've had this season. McLaren Honda in 5th anyway, Lotus Mercedes in 6th, Toro Rosso in 7th close behind. Join us next time for the Brazilian Grand Prix going all around the classic Interlagos circuit. We're going to be going around for 36 laps to that track, and it's sure to be a really good one. So thanks for watching. Be sure to tune in next time.